welcome back to the Optimization Toolbox. I'm your host, Jen Redfield. Today we have a friend of mine, Valeria from the Notion Ambassador Program. She is an amazing person I met at the Notion conference in San Francisco just a couple months ago. And she came on my last Notion AI tutorial class. She mentioned all the ways that she was using custom agents. And I was like, I have to have her come on and tell you guys about what she's doing because I think it's so fascinating. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yes. Awesome. We were kind of getting into it. So I was just like, oh, we got to record.
Yeah.
So maybe share a little bit about how you got into Notion and kind of like what you do, because you're a consultant, you're working with people to kind of
Yeah.
build their systems. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Well, to be completely honest with you, I started working as a VA actually. Like I
Okay.
started working as a VA. And I as a VA is very competitive. Like it's really difficult. Like I'm not saying that I'm not good at what I do, but basically like everybody kind of does the same thing. Like it's difficult to be different in the same like structure of tasks that you need to do as a VA. So I like had this love-hate relationship with Notion at that point. So like I was like trying to do databases at some point, which was insane, but I was like, I need to do something different here. Like I need to propose something different. And I proposed to be like a Notion assistant. So basically when I did that and I polished up my profile on Upwork and everything, I got so many jobs because of that title. Like the
Right.
SEO, like it was insane.
Wow.
Like I was like, and it was difficult to get jobs. Like I could get one or two jobs, but at that point I was getting like 5, 7 jobs a
Wow.
day. Like it
Nice.
was insane. So basically I proposed to my clients, be like, hey, I organize your life, or like we can have a hub between us and I can send you reports to Notion. Something like was pages, like nothing so difficult, but they were interested. Then the time passed and then I started building systems for them without even noticing. Like it was included in my contracts. And then I was like, oh, I found a community here where I live here in Colombia. And I was like, oh, you charge for this, or you can do like a lifestyle out of this. And I started studying a little bit more. And then I basically started hiring people. I have a team of 6 people right now.
Wow.
And I do systems, we do templates, and I'm also building courses at this point.
Nice. So yeah, because I'm doing similar, but I'm not doing consulting. So you're doing
Oh
more of the
yeah,
working.
girl, you should. You completely should.
I know I
Like,
should I should do a lot of things, but I'm doing a lot of other stuff too. So I'm like, the one thing I can do is I can make content about Notion. Like that's the one thing I love
I
doing.
mean, I love your content, so I
Yes.
get to
And
learn from you on that point.
yes. And I feel like we connected because we both, yeah, you had like seen my videos or something when we were talking.
Actually, yeah, I had a client that sent me like a couple of your videos. So like it was like build something like she's saying, like build what she's saying.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
that's
she's
great.
selling a template. Like
Yeah.
at this point, if you want, buy the template and then we
Yeah.
can build, like we can review the template, and if you want something
Exactly.
custom, oh, you should contact her actually. Like she's
Yeah.
like the expert on her pillars, and maybe I was like, no, but he was like taking your template for a team. So it was like a little bit
Ah,
more like a
which
build
is
up.
not what I build it for. Like, and that's the thing is I'm mostly
Exactly.
working with individuals or really small teams of like 2 or 3
Exactly.
people, and you're more working with larger maybe businesses or people with
Exactly. So he was
multiple.
like a team of like 30 people. And
Yeah, that's not going to work with my template.
exactly. So I was like, maybe you should talk to him. He was like, no, I rather you do. So
Yeah.
I think he actually, yeah, he bought the template, and
Oh, wow.
I adapted it.
Gotcha, for sure.
It
And
was
that's
a
what the
couple of
point of
years.
a template too is, it's a starting point and you got to adjust it.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
And
like,
and now an Ocean AI can like make you templates. You just tell them what you want and it will create it for
yeah,
you,
but I
truly.
have my hot take on that is
Okay.
like I have a hot take, and actually
Okay.
have with a client that I work
Uh-huh.
as an ocean admin currently in a company.
Okay.
And he was like, I built 20 databases, whatnot. And I'm like, what do you do? Like, it's good that you have the tool, but doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you need to use it without the knowledge. And I was like, I
Yes.
sat down with him and I was like, hey, it's not that it's wrong that you use to tell like databases. It's not wrong. That's perfect. It's good to me to know.
Mm-hmm.
The issue came up when I did a report explaining what I needed to delete some databases. And the client was like, what do you explain me so many databases? I'm getting overwhelmed. And I'm like,
Yes.
but you like, then if I delete them, where are those? Like, whatever. So I said,
Yeah.
I'm like, you
It's
hired me to do this.
it,
I need to do the databases and everything else. Like,
it's the same thing as when people download a ton of different templates. It's like
yeah, which
that.
is normal.
Because I was working with someone the other day and they're like, oh, how do I get started? I'm like, like that's such a hard question because it's like, what do you need? That is really more of the question, is not how to, like, what do I do? It's like, what do you need Notion to do for you, and start there. Cause they're like, I'm looking at a blank page and I'm like, yeah, you have to be creative and figure out what do you need. But what we're not taught is how do our systems work? Like, you need to have a system before you have a template, before you have a database. You need to understand what you need Notion to do for you. And a lot of people don't even know what can do.
I feel like it's like now, like I'm doing my course and everything, and has been a journey, to be honest,
Yeah.
because like even before starting to explain systems or
Mhm.
starting to explain the blocks that you could do in a page, you need to explain even the layout and what
Mhm.
all the things that you can find.
Yes.
And then I found out, like, I took like an hour to explain all the layout that you can find,
Yes.
like
Yes.
the settings. And I'm
Yes.
like, I understand that can be overwhelming. Like,
Mhm.
even not only the blank page, like everything
Mhm.
beside it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So it's like, what I recommend people when they want to start Notion, like there's normal phases or normal things that they need to do or they need to pass through. Like, hey, you might download 20, 40 templates and learn that even is
Yeah.
just, it's not, you need to learn from that. And then like,
True.
okay, maybe I need to take a course, or maybe I need to see some YouTube videos. Like,
Mhm.
or maybe I need to see Jenna, whatever,
Yeah.
like,
Or you find like, I always tell people to find an all-in-one system, which is what I sell, because I'm like, they all link to each other. So it's like, instead of buying a bunch of different templates or downloading a bunch of different templates that don't talk to each other, that's the biggest thing, is if they're all in their own silos in their own islands, that
mhm.
isn't going to be helpful if you're trying to remember where you put stuff. And that's why it's like, for me, I have very specific databases where I know things are going. And so I
Yeah.
know exactly where everything is. And then also it's searchable, obviously, but for me, like, I know exactly where I put things because I know
Yeah.
how
I
many
think
databases I have, you know?
maybe when you sell that type of
Mhm.
product or like template, the important thing about it is to have documentation. Like,
Yes.
like at least to me, if doing Notion for companies, doing Notion for teams is like, you can do an amazing system. You can do it. Like, anyone actually can do it. But if you don't have good documentation, that's
Mhm.
the main issue. Like, to me, to
Yeah.
adapt it to a company to
Gotcha.
so they can use it. So like, I mean, it's actually perfect that everything is not a silo or like an island, of course.
Yes.
But if you don't understand even the concept of an
Uh,
island, like, like,
it's like
like,
you have to go back to the basics. I totally get it. And I think the
yeah.
hard thing for both of us, maybe, and maybe this is just true for me, is I've been doing Notion for so long, I forget the basics, kind of. You
Girl, I have like a friend, like I have a friend that I'm training right now. She's a friend. Like, another thing, I was an English teacher. So like another FYI, I was like a VA English teacher on this.
gotcha.
So like I've been teaching her for like, I stopped teaching, of course, because I
Mhm.
focus on Notion, but I was like, she loved Notion.
Mhm.
And I was like, I need you to have a conversation. And I'm like teaching her some things, some concepts, and she like, that's out there to me. That I have
Mm.
never thought of. So I have some friends that love Notion, but they're in the basics. So I take them like as a guinea pigs, to be completely honest with
Yeah.
you. Like, I'm like, do you know this? And they're like, that's foreign. Like, that's out there to me.
Ah,
So like, to me, like the best practice is to have people that might like love Notion as a, like, they are
mhm.
learning, but maybe they don't understand relations or roll-ups or formulas
Mhm.
or whatever the
Yeah.
heck. So it helps a lot. Like, a lot. And also I tested with my clients. Like, I'm like, do
Mhm.
you understand this concept? And they are like,
Ah.
no. And I'm like, oh, I need to do documentation on it, on this.
Gotcha. So you're kind of figuring out what parts people get stuck at, or things that most people
Yeah.
don't get. Because you're right. Like, when I first learned Notion, a lot of it was foreign to me, even though I had been using other tools like Airtable, I'd use Trello, I'd use Asana, I'd use ClickUp, I'd use all these
Yeah.
other ones. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Notion had some new stuff that and even since I started using it, they've come out with
Mhm.
new things over the last 4 years. And
Yeah,
but
like,
but it's easier now than ever. I think they've made it easier to use because of AI and because of all these new tools. I feel like like the biggest one for me was subtasks and sub items. Like before that, it was just like miles long of
yeah, 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 yeah.
stuff. And now
It
it's like
was
I
the
can
thing.
organize them into folders. Like that completely changed Notion for me. Like that was probably the
Yeah,
biggest.
but like, I mean, I started with Notion like 3, 4 years ago, I
Yeah.
think, same for
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
When we started learning Notion, some concepts were like out there for us, but there wasn't lots of things. Like
Mhm.
it was a smaller toolbox, if that
Yeah.
makes.
True.
It
True. You
was
didn't
a
have
smaller,
much.
so
Yeah.
maybe you need to learn, like instead of 20, you needed to learn 5
Yes.
and focus on 5. Like at that point, I remember the only thing that I needed to focus on really was relations and roll-ups. Like that was like
True. Yeah.
and then when you understood that concept, you can like do whatever the heck you
Well,
want.
and that's the thing I always tell people about Notion is once you understand it fully, you can use it for whatever you want. I think that's the part and I don't know how long it took you to master it. I would say for me it was probably 6 months to really like know it.
For me, it was like a year,
Really?
something.
Okay.
Like I have to be completely honest, it was something like it affected so much because the first 6 months I was completely alone. Like I didn't have any
Uh,
community, I didn't have any people to talk about Notion.
gotcha.
When I joined the community, like everything that I learned and they teach me, I was like, oh, now I get it. But if it was like I didn't know even it was a community here in Colombia. Like yeah,
Did
it's
you
out
watch
there.
any videos at all or anything?
I did, but at that point, like to be completely honest, in Spanish, like the concepts of relations, blah
Oh,
blah blah. It's not that like I feel maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe there are some content creators that be like, my
yeah.
videos is this 4 years ago, and I'm like, I didn't find it. Sorry, but most of the good content was in English, and I'm bilingual, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm like, sometimes the bilingual brain is
Yeah.
like not braining, and then you take Notion into the mix, it's like overwhelming. Like it's so
Yeah. Well,
much.
that's like when I took Spanish in college. So I don't know if I told you this. I took Spanish for many years. I
I
took
think I remember
Yeah.
this conversation.
But then what happened was is I tested into like a high level Spanish class, but then basically they're like, okay, you know Spanish. Now we're reading basically Harry Potter in Spanish. Basically, like that was like the
Okay.
level. So it's like you already know Spanish, and now we're like learning about Spanish stuff in Spanish, and it was way too much for me because I'm like I'm still
Yeah.
trying to read and understand all the words, and then I also have to memorize the stuff that I'm reading. Like
Yeah,
that was
it's too
too much.
much. It's too much. Like my brain was like, I mean, when I started, Thomas Frank was like so
Mhm.
advanced for me. Like I was like even the concept of internal templates in database was like
Mhm.
not braining for me. Like was so
Yeah.
out there. Like it's like I don't know if this psychologist, like you said, I don't know if you remember this psychology, but it's like when you have a cat in a box and at the same time the cat is dead but it's alive at the same time, that kind of situation.
Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like that internal template for me is something like that. Like exists
Yes.
but doesn't. Like
Yes. That always confused me too, for sure.
yeah, like at starting point you're like, but you needed to learn 5 things at the end of the
And
day.
that's the thing is like simple. That's why like my course, I call it Notion Foundations, because I'm like, here's the things that you need to know, and this is the order in which I learn them, or like just kind of master. Because it's like you're right. Like let's start with like the basic pages. What are the views? Like, and then move into like what are properties? Because it's like a lot of them. I say it and they're like, what? So it's just like you have to kind of simplify it. And it's hard for me because I'm like, I'm so advanced that it's like sometimes hard to simplify. But I don't know.
I do guinea pigs. Like I have friends
Yeah.
that like currently I have like I'm building my basic Notion course like as
Mhm.
well. And I
Yeah.
have 2 guinea pigs. Like I have 2 friends
Nice. That's great. I
testing it
feel like
out.
I need to
And
do
I'm
that.
like, do you understand everything? And they're like, I didn't understand this, and that. Then I'm
Mm,
like doing a like Q&A video at the end of
yeah,
like
yeah. Love
blah,
that.
blah.
That's a good
So it's
idea.
good. Like at the end of the day, like Notion has so many details, like
Yeah.
additional coloring, like properties.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like I think for us it was easier in terms of like we learned these 5 core
Mhm.
tools, and then Notion starting adding one at a time, and then we only needed to understand one at a time, basically.
Yeah, and you don't even need to use all of the features for everything. And so then it's just like people, and then I think the biggest issue people come into is they want it to look perfect, be perfect.
Oh my
And
God,
I'm
the
like,
aesthetics is like I
yes,
love the aesthetics, but it's horrible
yes,
at the same time for productivity. I feel like it's
uh-huh.
boxing some kind of Like it doesn't need to look pretty at all.
No, it doesn't. And I think people spend too much time on that. But that's why I actually love the Notion AI is it gets to the core of what you
Oh,
need it
yeah.
for. And like I would love to talk about custom agents because I know that's something that we want to really like I still want to learn more about. And you told me that I'm not using it the right way. So I want to
Girl,
learn how to do them. So how do you so explain to us what a custom agent is because I feel like
basically,
yeah, go ahead.
okay, in Notion, there are so many agents, like not agents, but there are so many AI tools that
Yeah.
might get confusing. Actually, I noticed that there are like 4 to 5 agents, like
Okay.
AI features on Notion
Gotcha.
that can get confusing. Just to give you a heads up, the first one that it was like implemented was like when you touch the space bar appears like an agent on
Mhm.
your page. That's the first, like, not agent, but the first feature of
Mhm.
Notion AI that appeared. Then it is like in the databases columns. You can have columns that are filled out with AI,
Mhm.
like those two basic things. Then there is like custom agents, which basically you can have a personality help you out. So like it's not something like a ChatGPT chat. It's like a mix of like
Yes.
you like building up this agent. What is the advantage between like maybe you could say, hey, I have a ChatGPT chat that has all the memories that I need to do now. Like I don't need another agent, but I'm like, okay. The advantage of agents basically is that you have this template. It's really easy to build. Like you have this template, you fill it out, and then you can tag information from your workspace and he can learn from your workspace and it's everything connected. So for example, let's say you love to do essays about books and you have like a comment on every like chapter of the book that you read. And then you want like a summary of your notes. You can have an agent that does that for you in a specific way. And then you could do your essay. And it has a personality and has like a specifications and memories related to that.
Yeah. So
And there
how
is custom agents, that is another topic.
yeah.
We
So
can
so
take it.
how do you create the different personalities? Because I've only been able to figure out how to make one, and that's just the one I use for everything.
Okay, something that I have found out that not a lot of people do, I created a database that basically is hosted all the personalities that I
Oh,
have in
okay.
my workspace. So basically I have like some properties that, for example, these are created for my team. So I have the name, I have then the short purpose of the agent. Like for example, this agent creates newsletters, for put in an example. And then a little bit of a longer explanation with built with AI. So I have like a build out template
Mhm.
that you fill out. And the idea of the agent is that it learns from you. So when you teach it things, you need to say like update your memories and updates the memories. Like you need to like at least to me to be like safe. I say it explicitly like, hey, you need to update your memories related to what we talked
Okay. So you
in your
have to tell it to do that. But so then when so let's just give an example of like you're going to use a specific agent. What is the step-by-step process? Do you go into the side thing and say, I want to use this agent? Or like, how does that work?
okay. You have a new page
Yeah.
and you want to do a newsletter and you
Yeah.
build previously an agent that does that specifically. It has purpose, memories, and formatting in this case.
Okay.
Okay. So it has like all the information that it needs.
Mm-hmm.
Then you are in the blank page. You go to the like right side down,
Mm-hmm.
like to the
Yep.
little amazing face
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
you click it, then you click personalize, and then you select the page of the personality you want to use.
Okay. So I'm just like looking at it now. I'm just trying to figure out where that is. Where here, can I share my
Let
screen?
me even like I
Or do you
can
want to share
even
your
show
screen?
you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Let
I
me
can,
allow you to share your screen. Give me a
yeah.
second.
Let me, yeah, and opening up also like I spend so much time in this page, girl. So
Yeah.
much. Okay,
Uh, I think you can share. Yeah, if you want to share.
let me show you. Okay,
Because I
so
think it would be helpful for us to see it. Because I'm like,
okay,
yeah, if it's just a blank
no
page, like
problem.
that's totally fine.
So
Okay,
it's in Spanish. I can
that's fine.
translate it really quick. But basically, but in the nutshell, this is the database.
Okay.
As you can see, it has like the name, then the
Okay.
short purpose. Like this is built with the AI, which has like a little bit of
Mm.
an explanation what it is. But at least to me, it's good that I have like this is for quoting, this is for cover letters, this is for
Mm.
tracks, this is for
I love
newsletter.
Elwood. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, like oh my God, girl, like I spend so much time polishing this up, like it's
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And the amazing part I feel that I most proud of is the naming. conventions of the
Mm,
agents. So for example, just to give you like an example, do you know R2D2, which is this
yeah.
guy in Star
Yeah.
Wars? Okay, this is a fun fact in Spanish. In Spanish, R2D2 sounds like if you said fast, it's Arturito.
Okay.
Arturito. And Arturito, it means like little author.
Oh,
We don't say
cute.
R2D2 actually, we say little R
Ah.
basically. So basically he's my main like agent that I use.
Mhm.
So basically what I do is that I have all these agents. For example, Casper does newsletters because he's a ghost writer. So like
Ah, love that. These are great. You're so
I mean,
creative.
I love them so they're my babies, I have to admit.
Oh, so cool.
Totoro is like does idea content for Nerdhard because I feel like it's like whimsical and things like that.
Mhm.
But Nemo is I forget that I have to do content for my personal brand, so he's
Yeah.
Nemo. So how does carousels because I feel it fits that aesthetic. Frankenstein, for example, is a agent that creates another agent.
Ah, love that.
Like it basically I put this naming conventions because it helps me to remember where
Mhm.
they are and what they
Yeah.
do basically. So for example, let's do a new page here. So what I do is that I click here and then I click personalize.
Oh, okay.
Like Arturito, I love him to
Okay.
go back, but then I click here in the three dots and then I
Oh, use existing page. Okay. So yeah, this is where I got to figure that out. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
then I can, like, for example, I'm building out
Ah.
Bob, for example. He's like a system constructor that I'm building out.
Mm,
Like, I have like like recently used, but I
gotcha.
can use, for example, Casper that does newsletters.
Mhm.
And then I click done. I would love to have some updates on this. Like, maybe if I click here, instead of like changing like
Yes.
convention, it could be changing agents
The
and
name of
the
them, yeah,
database.
that would be a great thing because
I
that's why I
mean,
think I was confused as I was like, it's still showing my main guy, and that's
Yeah,
why I was
yeah, yeah,
confused.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It can happen. So like you
yeah,
need to go here and change the structures, blah, blah, blah.
gotcha. Okay,
Maybe I would like to have like maybe all the personalities here as faces connected to a page and then
yeah,
click the personality that I need
okay,
and so on and so forth. These are feedback that like it comes up. So basically then in this page, something that I have figured out is like you put the title, I don't know, like let's say trip to San Francisco for
mhm,
putting an example out there. And then you could use AI meeting notes to
yep,
record yourself.
yep,
And then you talk to it, I'll be like, hey, I traveled here, what I did, what I didn't do, what I like, what I didn't like, whatever. But at least for the sake of this meeting, I need to create a newsletter. Sorry for my like
no,
this
you're good.
brain. I'm like thinking so fast that my hands cannot keep up.
Yeah, yeah. Before
About
you keep going, I have a question. Do you have to? Can you do it in the side thing, or does it have to be on the page
like
in
for
order?
the fastest way, like I put it here, but actually you need to do it here.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, does it have to be? Because I know that
It
that's
could
what
be
I usually
both
do.
places.
Okay,
Like it doesn't really matter to be
okay,
completely honest with you,
okay,
because if I put it here, for example, either way reads the page.
gotcha. So it doesn't
Like
matter. So you can try either one.
you
Okay,
could try either way, but
okay,
yeah, it makes more sense to put it in the like in the left, like right side thing. Something
yeah,
that I recommend, obviously, is that if you have context in your workspace about the strip videos, whatever, and you
yeah.
put it here, is better. Like
That's why I've been trying to get away from ChatGPT because I'm like, I have everything in Notion and I have a ton of background stuff in ChatGPT. So I'm like, should I bring all that over to Notion and then start
something
using
that
that?
I did is like I use this the Frankenstein
Yeah.
I put it on my chats on ChatGPT and he built the agent, the basic agent. And my
Oh, so it took all your ChatGPT. So how did you do that?
basically I took this prompt that I can translate, no problem. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really easy,
Yeah, no, that's fine.
not difficult. But basically it explains, I have like a folder system here. So basically it explains like how the structure of an agent is built on Notion in text.
Oh, okay.
Then what it needs to have, like the titles of the agent, like all the context of the agent that I need.
Mm.
And basically put it on the chat and I'm like, from this chat, build an agent from everything that you learn.
And you link that over to the Notion app with ChatGPT. So are you doing this in chat or are you doing it within Notion?
No, I'm like I did that in my note in like ChatGPT chats, and then he builds out everything, and then I copy and paste it on Notion, and then
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you're
polish it
okay.
up.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're copying and pasting it over because I know that you
I,
can link ChatGPT to Notion somehow, and I'm
I
like,
think so, but I'm like, at that point, I was trying to do it faster, and this is the fastest
gotcha. And
I
I
found.
have but here's the thing, I have so much in ChatGPT that I'm like, I don't even know if it could get all the context. So
I
I'm
mean,
just
it
like,
takes time.
yeah,
Like, obviously, like the advantage of like there are so many advantages, right? First of all, if we talk about the like possibilities, if you have all your content with statistics and like
mhm.
data, then Notion AI can see like your agent can learn like, oh, this type of content didn't work because the
Mm,
stats are not that amazing.
yes.
This other content that we built is better and
Mm,
can learn from that type of data. And also Notion has privacy. So like if
mm.
you have ideas, it stays on Notion. It's not that ChatGPT is learning from us, like that type of stuff.
Yeah,
Like
it's more internal, like it's learning from you and then
it's
just
safe,
staying
it's in
inside.
an ecosystem,
Yeah,
but
that's good to know. Yeah.
ChatGPT is learning from you and it can recommend your type of ideas to another person
Mm,
because it's learning at the end of the day, which is like gray area. We won't get into that
yeah,
today. Like
yeah.
we can put all that data, and if you are in a company, for example, like putting all the mission, vision, like all the things that identify as a company, and then you create these type of agents in a startup, for example, and then they can build out content for them.
Gotcha. Okay. Because
So
one
like
of the
that's
things, yeah, one of the things I want to do is like, I want to look at my LinkedIn posts and be like, which posted well, and then like, put them in and then like write like this got this many impressions, why, like that kind of stuff. Like, I think that would be great to,
yeah, and like we won't get it here into custom
yeah,
agents. There's an announcement about it, so I think it's safe
yes.
to
I
say
know, I know they announced that it's coming next year. I think they announced that
it's
at Make
coming
with
next year,
Notion.
but
Yeah.
yeah, we know as an ambassador, we know a little bit more about it.
I
And
haven't looked into it yet, so I probably don't know anything,
girl,
but
like I'm into it as
I
much as
have you been, let me just ask, have you been testing it?
yeah.
And what are your thoughts? Just
I
good.
mean,
Good.
it's really interesting what we can do
Because
related to
I'm excited. I think maybe we'll have to do a follow-up of this video
we
and
can
talk
do a
about,
follow-up,
because
but basically,
I think that's going to be great because I think that there's so much manual stuff now with a lot of this, so that will be nice to eventually have it like do
I
stuff
mean,
for me.
to in a nutshell, my take on this is like there are automations with personality, is what I feel,
Gotcha.
which is I feel in my point of view is like automations, Notion. It's not that they want to take jobs from like
Mhm.
obviously they take job from you, but like they don't want you to fire people out of this if that's
Yeah.
something. Like to me, it's like they want you to focus on being more human. Like
Yeah.
let me do
It's
the bureaucratic stuff, like the writing, like the stuff that you might not want to do.
Well, and some of the stuff I will say that that some of these tools do, humans could never have done. You couldn't sift through thousands of things and come up with
Yeah,
patterns. Like
never.
some of the stuff that is going to change the world, like cancer research and things where it's like you're finding these patterns. There's this guy that I follow who he's trying to find uses for different medications for different things, like medications that already exist, and he's using like all these data points with AI to figure out like what are patterns and
Yeah, our brain is built to storage, like
yes,
not to storage, to be creative, to have ideas.
yeah,
But imagine that, like, how can a human review all the chemical components
exactly.
of like all of those things? That's crazy. Like, you cannot do that. You might need to hire a team of people, and it could take years.
Yes, and that's the thing is like I think to me it's able to get to the core of what you want to know faster, and all these little things that are slowing you down, it's speeding it up so that you can get to the actual real stuff. And so
Mhm.
I think that to me is the goal, is get past the weeds of the things that are taking super, like I just know people that spend so much time just looking for their files. Like on average it's like
Yeah.
5 hours a week that people are just like, where did I put that? And I'm like, oh my gosh. If you And then I think in the future there's going to be better ways to organize things. There's going to be more AI around like how to, like that's why I love Google Photos, because their AI is amazing for finding photos. Like if I'm just search a term, it will find it, and that has sped up. People are like, how'd you find that photo so fast? I'm like, I used Google Photos, which has had AI for years.
Yeah, for years. Yeah.
So I do think that I would love to connect you with a friend of mine who talks about AI. I feel like you guys would really bond because I feel like
Okay.
you guys talk about the same exact thing. But I just think for people that are like wanting to go off of ChatGPT and into Notion AI, what would you say are some of the other reasons that you love Notion AI?
I
Maybe
mean,
more.
in terms of like, obviously, you have an ecosystem. If you are a person that is creative, it's more safe, your content.
Hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
First, I think that's one of the most important things. If you are like a company or like you want to do content and
Yeah.
you wanted to have it personalized, but also have a system, is even cheaper. Like if you
Mm,
have
yeah.
ChatGPT is like $20 a month, but with
Yep.
$20
Hmm.
here, you have a Workspace and AI, which I think it makes lots of
I
sense.
agree.
So like in terms of cost, you have more to gain here. If you want
True.
to pay both, like I pay both, like I
Yeah,
use
I do too. Yeah.
like whatever. I have like, because I pay Google Workspace, I have Gemini as well. Like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you like I pay them because I learn from them. Like I use them for my team and whatever. But if you're like, hey, I have $20 right now a month
Mm,
and I need to use them wisely, and that's the only thing you have, I think it's better that you have this, because you can do workspaces, you can do so many things, you can have a team, and then you can develop these tools with Notion AI. So like it makes cost benefits more sense.
I
Um,
totally agree.
yeah, like yeah, it's crazy. And also like what I feel in terms of transition. What is like the process of transition?
Mm,
Basically, like I could share the prompt with you. I don't have any problem with that. I have
mhm,
actually a template on how to build your own agent based on this workflow. But
mhm,
at the end of the day, it's like experiment. Go to
mm,
your chat. Hey, Intel, hey, I'm building an ocean agent. I need this chat to be an ocean agent. Copy and
mhm,
paste to a database that this is the simplest database that I could find.
mhm.
Simplest.
Yeah.
Copy and paste and then test it out. And
Yeah.
then I would recommend that you like I want to make myself sure that I always say, hey, update your memories. It does it automatically, to be honest, but I always say it
Mm,
because I'm like reassuring myself that that is updated. But your Notion agent could be like your agent identity, your chat interaction. Then it has memories. And then
ah,
here I have like updates, if that makes sense. So if I want to update something, it's not that I don't delete anything from my agent. That's something that I highly recommend. I'm not like, I will delete this part too. If it's way too specific, maybe like how it
ah,
calls you or whatever, maybe you could change that. But
yeah.
I'd rather like build the page of like as a record of what it learned. And
Yeah.
like even the things that you don't want is like anti-inspo. Like I don't like when you call me, I don't know, Val, for putting an example out there.
Oh,
It's like, oh, I won't do it in the future. Even like if you delete that, they might call you Val because they are testing it out. So like even the bad things, quote unquote,
yeah.
like anti-inspo, that they don't do that again. So I wouldn't delete anything. Like
Yeah. True.
something important.
I think that makes sense. And so I have some custom GPTs. So I think maybe
Yeah.
I'll start by recreating those in Notion and seeing the difference. Cause I think right now, like my custom
Girl,
GPTs are really
it takes
good.
time. I mean, obviously we are like so used to ChatGPT before
Mhm.
Notion agents.
Yeah.
Like in terms of time, we are like used
Yeah.
to ChatGPT and the experience of
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
Mhm.
Obviously some things like, for example, asking like when it was like, I don't know, Cleopatra, where did Cleopatra live or something like
Yeah.
that. Maybe ChatGPT is the best tool. I'm not saying that Notion cannot answer that. It's just that
Yeah.
it's a quick question, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but on terms of then, for example, let's talk about your LinkedIn post, for example.
Mhm.
You're like, I want to build my LinkedIn post, and you have a
Mhm.
database where you store what you wrote, the caption,
Mhm.
the images, and the stats of that. Then your Notion agent can learn from that. And then in the future, we put custom agents, it will be insane.
Yeah.
But
It's
actually,
gonna be crazy. I mean, like, and I think people need to get on it now so that
oh,
they can
yeah.
understand by the time that the custom agents come out, then they can like really utilize those. Cause I do think that those are gonna be helpful for people who don't want, because like right now, you're right, you're limited to what you can do in Notion and now eventually it'll be able to work with other apps and stuff. And I think it'll be super cool.
Yeah, I feel like custom agents is like the background helper, and
Yeah.
this is like the agents that we are building now is the front
Mhm.
and
Yes.
that experience. You need
Gotcha.
to use both. That's my take. but obviously takes more of your load of things that you.
Mm,
But when you do, for example, as an example that everyone can understand, for example, social media,
mhm.
you do a custom agent for specific stuff, and then when you sit down, you have all the tools that you need to start, which
Yeah,
is
it's like you have all the context that you
you
would
have
ever
all the
need. And I
context.
think that's really what people don't realize is the benefit of AI is you give it all the context so then you don't have to keep repeating that to them or you don't have to
Yeah,
like you don't have to start from scratch every time or like and that's why I always put so much of my stuff in Notion and now I'm like, "Yay, I have 4 years worth of stuff that now it can look and I'm actually shocked. I'm doing a lot of stuff with my health right now. So I'm
mm-hmm.
actually going to a naturopath this afternoon as I'm recording this and I'm gathering all of the notes that I've taken over the last year and putting them into one database so that when I talk to her, I'm like I have it organized and I'm like literally going to be bringing my laptop and being like these are the things I want to talk about. These are the things I've tested. These are the things I've tried so that I have all the context so that I know what to talk to her about. And like that was bringing in like multiple databases that I've been tracking over the past year. So it's like that has
Yeah,
been really helpful.
like also you could tag databases into a Notion agent,
Yes,
which is more, even more
beyond
content.
that. Yeah. And
So
I
like
think, yeah,
crazy. And like you said, for example, in the like this is in a personal sense, of course. But I'm like, you wouldn't even like you won't remember all the things that you have tried.
yes,
You know,
totally,
like
totally.
you won't. Like
I
is no
won't.
word
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
So like to have a place to store everything and you're like, but that's like accumulating stuff. Like maybe I don't need everything. Yeah, you could be like you could select what you want to save up, but even like I said, even the stuff that you might not like is something that you won't repeat in the future because you learn that you don't like them. Even
Exactly.
that's is good.
Exactly. It's like yes, no. Like I think that's the thing that a lot one of the things that's unique about me and maybe unique about you too is like I like to try things and then I learn from them and some people just don't ever attempt to try.
Oh
It's like they
yeah. Oh
it's
well,
like
to learn from Notion, you need to you need
well
to be safe that you will like do
yeah, well,
that all the time.
you just need to attempt to like I so my podcast is called the Optimization Toolbox because I'm like here's the tools that help you optimize your life in every
Yeah.
way. And I think Notion is one of the best tools out there for just learning and gathering information and like finding ways that you can like have all the stuff that you ever need.
Yeah, it's like also like I'm not like obviously I love Notion. I'm certified. I'm a
Mhm.
consultant. Like I mean this is my lifestyle, you know,
Yes,
like I live
yes.
with team blogs and
Yeah.
everything, whatnot. But if you're a person that loves Airtable, for putting an example, or
Mhm.
ClickUp, it's not that it's bad. It's just that maybe your tool kit will get applied to other type of way to think. And that's why everything never dies, you know, like it's not that the Airtable, ClickUp, whatever, it will die. It's just that it's a different way to think. Maybe Notion is too customizable that people think that it's like overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like that's fine.
If
So
that's the worst thing about Notion, like I'll take
that's
it.
actually the worst thing. You are like a wide canvas of all the
Yeah.
possibilities that you can build out. And now Notion that is focusing more on big companies is like getting so crazy. So like I understand that maybe too customizable could mean too much. So
Too
maybe
much.
you want an Airtable because it's like a little box that I can manage, that I can take and is drop and go. So like I understand. But at the end of the day, your learning is like you can apply it to everything. You can apply to your 30 peers, for example, to other things, even to Google Photos if you like. So like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, everything will be up. Like the tools are there. But I feel like this with Notion agents, custom agents, and everything that's coming up, and all the things that we're testing out, because I'm like in so many testings right now that I'm so excited that I'm like, at the end of the day, something that is really clear to me is that Notion hears the customer.
Oh, that's I agree 100%. It's
Like,
like they listen to what our feedback is and like even just in the Slack group, like somebody said something and they're like we're on it and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like what company like
yeah. And also
yeah.
I feel that in San Francisco, like in San
Yeah.
Francisco, here, distance, whatever the heck you are.
Mhm.
But they hear the customers so much. They are so
Mhm.
in touch with ambassadors, customers, and everything
Yeah.
that I'm like everything will get better at the end of the day because of that human interaction.
And yeah, and I feel like there's things that I still would change, but like I know it's down the pipeline gonna happen, or
Yeah,
it's gonna,
like
you know.
not even worry about it. Like even like just with the permissions. I know this is technical, but the permissions with the database is like a big thing for me.
Yeah, and
I mean,
they announced a bunch of updates, right, at the
yeah,
conference.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They will do so many updates. So I'm like, my biggest issue was the permissions on the database, which is fixed somehow.
Mhm.
Like it's a little bit different, and also offline. So now I'm like,
Ah, now you're
girl,
good.
I'm good. Like I'm good. Everything that's coming next is an add-on at this
Nice.
So,
I'm trying to think of what my biggest one now. I think connecting with email would be a good one. Like
oh God,
notes, like,
yeah.
and I know that they have Notion Mail, so like I'm gonna be honest, I don't love Notion Mail. I do think that
Same.
needs a lot of updates in order for me to use it. But like I think once if they do like a kind of a major upgrade, I would totally switch to that
Yeah,
over.
I'm like, something that I discovered recently with my team, is that Notion Mail actually works better when you have a team.
Oh, okay.
Like for my own use, it's like I don't like it at
Yeah.
all, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
completely honest.
Yeah.
It's not that Notion is bad. Like we are Notion ambassador. We can talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't like it. It's like I
Yeah,
don't like
yeah.
it's like I don't know. But for my assistant, for example, she can put the email of which stage she's responding, and I know that she's drafting an email without
Uh,
ask, hey, have you responded? Or whatever. Like I know.
gotcha.
So like for having an assistant or a team that needs to respond emails is a better use case for me. I discovered that recently.
Okay, see, I don't know if that's a new feature because I didn't even know you could do that.
No, no, you can do that since,
Okay.
but basically you could put the emails on like stages, like a database. So like, for example, me, like a new email arrived, like that's like
Mhm.
not started, for example. And then in
Yeah.
progress, it's like, oh, I know Brie, for example, is like responding to these emails today.
Mhm.
And then they are responded and they are like getting back to review. So like for teams, is better use case than personal use, to be completely honest.
Gotcha. Okay,
And it's good.
and I think because I'm not on a team, I feel like it's hard for me because I don't need all
Girl,
of
I just discovered this discovered this like a month ago. Like
okay.
it's not like it's just using it. It's just using
Yeah.
it to figure it out.
And that's the thing about everything with Notion is like if you don't use it enough, you're never gonna learn it. And I think that's
Time.
the biggest thing is like people try it for like 10 minutes and like, I don't get it. And then they move. It's just like you have to be in it for hours and just play around and try it. And if you're not willing to do that, it's probably not going to be a good tool for you. And it's
Or it's like if you don't want to spend that amount, you need to hire someone.
yeah,
Love the tool. If you
totally.
love the tool.
But
That's
I think a lot of people are like, I'm having a meeting next week with someone who just wants to ask me about Notion. They don't even want me to teach me. They're just like, what does it do? They just want to know the general ideas because they're
it's
like, does
difficult
it
to
fit?
explain at first, even. Like what does
Well,
Notion do?
but it's more
All
of like, does it do this? And then I have to say yes or no. Like, can it do
okay,
this?
that
I
makes
think
more
it's
sense.
more of like if like what it's more of like what its limitations are. I think is more of the questions I get is like, can it do this or can it do that? And I'm
Yeah.
like, and I say yes or no.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah. So
yeah.
like for us as a consultants is like in companies it's like how does the privacy or the permission are related to
Gotcha.
that, like it's more related to if I put this here this person see it will see it, and I'm like no
Mhm.
or yes. And before the permissions that we have now, like I used to spend like 8 to 10 hours testing permissions, like
Wow.
trying to hack my own system to
That's crazy.
yeah, to be sure that nobody will see information that they
And now is it easier to do that because of the
easier,
changes?
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. It's
Nice.
like so much easier. Some things I can get better, of course, that I'm like, okay, man, this can get better.
Yeah.
Like, this is good for now. Like I can manage this. Like just for putting an example out there, to have a dashboard for clients, you needed to do automations because you
Mm,
cannot use the same, like if you use the same database, they can delete the filter and they
yes,
can see all the things that you don't want them to see.
exactly. That was the biggest thing for a lot of people.
That
Yeah.
was the biggest thing. Now with permissions, you can select what they see. Right now, my issue, for example, is that how can I automate what they see?
Ah, you have
Because
to
I need
choose
to do
that.
it manually, you know? So
Yeah.
that's something that using it came up. Like, I'm like, I need this to be automatic in you.
Ah, I think that will be a future feature, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know it will come up. So I haven't even like, I'm like,
Could
oh,
you use Notion AI to like tell you which ones to change? Like to give you like advice?
It can give you advice, but I'm like, it's a little bit like if you have 20 tasks and you can
Yeah.
decline to see 10, at the end of the day, you need to review which ones.
Yeah, you
Or
still have
you
to
have to
manually do
give
that. Yeah.
explicit instructions of the naming conventions of these ones are for the client.
Gotcha.
So that might be a solution, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if I have a view, I want it to be automatic that the client is assigned to that task, for example, or
That
like
makes
they
sense.
can see it. So like
Yeah.
those are things that come up. They're too technical. Some people, like my clients, wouldn't even understand what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. You
And
know?
that's why consultants like you and all of our other ambassadors exist, because they're the ones
Yeah,
that can do
like
all those
you don't need
those
to care. You don't need to care about that. Like that's my job. Like that's okay. Right.
yeah.
For example, to hack my own system, I spend like 2 hours, 1 hour. It's not that crazy of a deal.
Yeah.
Before was 10. I mean, I just do the hour or two to be completely sure to be safe. Just to
Yeah,
come.
you don't want that information to go out there, and I think that companies are still scared of that. They don't want
It's okay.
but I
The
think yeah, they're
it's
learning and we're all learning, and I feel like I feel like AI knows everything about me these days, so I'm like,
girl, at the end of the day, they like I have an Alexa, she knows everything that
oh
I,
yeah, Alexa. I'm sure Alexa's
like at this point, like the phone, like we willingly
oh
have
for
that,
sure.
like
I
this
know
thing.
it's so funny. I have a friend and you should follow. I'll connect you to him too.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wears a thing around his wrist that records him 24/7 talking.
Girl, I have seen that. It's crazy. It's
And I'm
crazy.
like, and I kind of want it because I'm like, I forget what I say. And I'm like that, but then also in Minnesota where I live, we have it's like a one direction law where you only one person has to know they're being recorded legally. In some states, you have to both people have to know, like California, you both have to know that you're being recorded in order for anything to happen. So in Minnesota where I live, as long as I know I'm recording it, it's legal. So it's kind of weird.
Maybe I'm too Latin for this.
Yeah, but it's
Like
just
I
just
respect
from a
it.
legal.
It's not that I'm complaining or like I'm making fun of it. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just like here in Latin America, from my knowledge, we don't have laws for that.
Oh, really? You don't have laws at all?
We
Then
don't have we don't have that here.
I
Like
think,
like here we have cars and everything. Girl, like we have things.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, some things are a little bit out there for me
Gotcha.
personally. It's like,
Well,
yeah.
you talking about the U.S. laws? You're talking about, or
Yeah. You're like, I feel, which is amazing. I would love to have that law here, but
yeah,
here is, from my knowledge, maybe some Colombian will come up and be like, hey, we have the, I'm like, I just know. I didn't know before that. But you are in US, you are very specific about everything. You're very updated with that. Like,
yes, it's
here,
very
like,
like
take
there's a
more
lot.
time.
Yes, everything has a rule and a law, and like,
Yeah.
and it also it's by state. So there's 50 states, and so every state is different. So it depends on where you are. Like it's almost like 50 different countries, honestly.
Exactly. Here, like, I don't think, like, I don't know geographic, like,
Yeah,
I don't know anything, so bear with me. But here in Colombia, it's not based on states. Even in Venezuela
yeah,
or Panama or
mhm.
Argentina, that I live there, they are not based on like, hey, this state has this land, this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
It's
the fact
so
that you have
different
20,
here.
like 50 different countries are based on laws. I'm like, okay, but you're together.
Yeah,
You're in
it's almost
you
more
know?
like Europe because even with the size of the states, it's almost like different. So that's why when people are like, you've never really gone out of the states, I'm like, we basically have 50 countries that are completely different within one country. That's
And
basically what the US is. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that until they come here. How, first of all, how big it is, but also how different each state is from the next. So it's like, even though we live in the same country, we could be very different from each, like that's
yeah.
why meeting people at the conference from different states even, or different countries, it's like the same as meeting someone from a different state. It's the
I
same.
mean, to me, like as you know, like I'm Venezuelan, so like to me, learning from, like, I know everyone is different. I thank God I always knew that, but at the same time, like, okay, this is too, like, I have the other perspective of like, this is too American for me. Like, I don't understand this concept. Like, this is foreign for me. Like, I'm like, do you do that?
And it's so
Actually,
natural for us. That's what it's always been. And so that we don't question it sometimes.
respect. I'm not saying this as I'm making
Yeah,
fun of.
yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm like, for example, the fact that you like, oh, in Minnesota, if you know this, blah blah blah, and I'm like, what? In California is different, but you have a
Different.
law for this? Like, you have a
Yeah,
law for this,
it's
like,
crazy. It's
Like,
crazy.
that's out there. But that's good. Like, I mean, you keep up really fast about this because it's, I think
It's part of our life. We have to follow the laws or we could get sued. I mean, I don't know if you
no,
know,
but
you know.
obviously that, but also like you're like keep up with the generation. Like you need to know that you're being
Ah,
recorded because of like the meetings and like pandemic wise, whatever. Like you know this, but from what I know, here in Colombia, we don't have any laws regarding recording some of our meeting, for example.
yeah.
This is that you keep up so fast is what I mean.
But it might be important if you ever work with someone from another state in America, just to
Yep.
know. So
Yeah.
I just look into it and maybe ask Notion AI for information about it because
Hey, go your policies.
because
Go
it's
your
just you just never want to get in trouble and for
Um,
me,
at
yeah,
least to me, I don't know if it's like a good, I well, on my end, it's like I always say that I'm recording
yeah,
as a good practice. Like I'm
it's a
like,
good
hey,
practice.
I
Yeah.
will record this because I need to review it later. Is
Yeah,
it
and it's
okay?
not like you're saying anything that's especially in
Yeah,
a
it's
business
weird. Like
meeting,
I'm
you
like,
know.
hey, this is a consultancy.
It's
You're
a
asking
it's a
properly.
private thing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
I think I should maybe put that in some of my documentation of clients. It's like, hey, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be recording calls. Like,
people
it's just
won't mind, I think.
yeah,
I don't
it's
mind.
just
So
I
as a
yeah,
good
it's
practice, I
it's
feel like I will record this. Like whatever. You know.
awesome. Well, I know we're coming up kind of on time. Is there any other Notion tips that you've discovered recently that you think people should know, or what are some of your favorite databases, or is there anything that you geek out on,
I
or
mean, like first, before getting into it, I think we should give the people this tryout because
yes.
please go and play this out, the agent, because they haven't seen it
Do you
work.
have you said you had the prompt or like or
I just set it up the agent here
oh
with the
okay.
instructions. So he's Casper. So he does
Casper.
newsletter. I can show you his template. So I need to create a newsletter about my San Francisco trip and
And then do you link over to like a database where you like put notes about it or something or like
like right now I'm just testing like
yes.
I feel there are phases that I created myself based on
Mm-hmm.
agents own testing. First is that I migrate the agent from ChatGPT if you have it there. If
Mm-hmm.
not,
Yep.
create it on Notion
Yep.
or
Yep.
like doesn't matter. Then you like test it so much without any more context,
Mm.
like just like by itself, that you like the formatting, how it looks basically, and then you can add more information to it to have more context, because I feel I have tested out to have all the information in one go, and correcting it has been difficult, and because the information is inside of his personality, he can change the structure of databases outside,
Mm.
and you don't want that because you're testing. So like, first of all, I like test it out, like isolate it, and then I integrate more
Mm.
information into it. So it's better and I don't make mistakes, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Make with Notion this here for putting an example. And in English.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah.
And basically he starts reading his own personality. Then like all the requests and things, like all the context, which is fun. I love to
Yeah.
see how it thinks.
What can I ask you what you put in the context for writing newsletters? Like what was it about the newsletter that you put specifically for that custom agent?
Like how it's built out, like the
Yeah, or
personality.
like what did you tell it that's different than another agent? Like what did you want the newsletter to sound like? Is it like a specific thing like I want it to have bullets or like what did you add to that personality?
Well, I added even images at this point. Like I have a format, like you will see here.
Yeah.
I have a format of newsletter from Substack that I love. I did one, and then
Okay.
I basically put all, like I put the image of the Substack image, like how it looks.
Oh, so you screenshotted like the layout of a
Exactly how it
Substack you
looks like the
liked.
film. Yeah.
Ah,
And then
okay.
I
Cool.
copy and pasted one example because I said I just wanted to be isolated. I don't want to connect it to the whole workspace beforehand. So like the year make with Notion, then have a
Mm.
spotlight, have a template for
Oh,
it.
this is cool. So you kind of put all this info, like all those sections into the custom agent. So then you're able to edit.
Exactly. I will
That's
show you in a
cool.
minute how it looks.
Yeah, yeah.
But you could customize it, like it's a customer. You can customize it as much as you want. But
It
at least the things that I feel that are core, that you actually
mm,
baseline need, is like you need to have like a in terms of like how you would like it to talk to you, like the tone.
tone, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Because if it's a cover letter, it's more professional than like a
Mm,
this type of situation, like it's like
yeah.
different. So like the tone is something that you need to be very specific about. It's something that I've been publishing off. Um, context in terms of like formatting, I feel is something that you need to put into your agent. Like let me show you how it looks like.
Yeah, that would be great.
So, and let me move this out. Yeah, moving things around in the like here.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically the agent identity, but basically what he does in general, then the purpose of the agent. Maybe this could be redundant, but this helps in terms of this person, like the purpose of AI here is like it helps in terms of the database itself. So like the identity, what he does, for example, this is an assistant that focus on results, to precision and order, sensibility. Like it has like I could send you this later so you can review
Yeah.
it. Then the purpose of the agent, this is most for these properties here. That is like easier to understand for the database.
Gotcha.
Then the chat interaction. For example, this is a tone that is close to you, professional, clear, not in larger introductions, really like short introductions. And for example, I put a specifications like I don't want unnecessary emojis, like a crazy amount of emojis.
Yeah. Okay.
So like, hey, that's something that I specifically put
Mhm.
because it was crazy. Like
Yeah, it can
crazy.
get a little bit too much, and then it
Even
kind of
in
reads like
between
it's
the
AI.
text, oh my God, was insane. So like, obviously if it's the emojis like pertinent for the content of the newsletter, put the emoji, but like don't cut words to put an emoji, for example. Then the memories. So like, for example, I used to say so much literally when I
Mm,
quote. I'm getting better, like
you
learning
said
process.
the word literally, like you said that a lot.
So many
Oh,
times when I
funny.
talk.
I used to say
Yeah,
that too. I used to say that
it's
just like as I talk.
crazy.
That's so funny.
Now I don't use it as much, thank
Okay.
because I've been conscious about it. But I put that on like if I say literally do a report of how many times I said it,
Wow.
but they put it in a newsletter. So like he
Yeah,
hears me out and he's like, hey, you said literally 5 times. I'm like, okay, I don't like that much.
that's good to
Like,
know.
yeah, yeah,
Call
yeah.
them
It
out.
will give you feedback as well.
That's great. I love that.
And then the formatting, for example, this is like the formatting of like
Gotcha.
at the end, like the output. Like this is the title, this is the like principal title, the sections of the like at the end, examples. And here's the example of like a cover letter that I did, like newsletter that I did that was very short. So I put all the information that I need into the custom agent as much as I can without connecting it to the workspace. Then if you want to get a little bit more creative, which is what I want to do in this stage, is like, I love my custom agents now. I have all the information about my agency, my content and everything, and I wanted to connect it to this. And then put statistics and connect it to the internet and be like, hey,
Yeah.
tell me what is good, what is bad.
That's what I'm doing now is so one of the things I did with just the internal Notion, or I don't know if it was ChatGPT, I've done both, is I was like, first of all, which content of mine on my YouTube channel did well and what are people searching for now? And then
Yeah.
I was like, come up with 15 ideas for videos based off of what I've done well, but also based off of this current search trends to come up with a list. Cause that way it's taking both mine and what search is using. So it's
Also,
like,
like something that I've been talking with, like now, just to tell you a little bit of what's coming, custom agents are like a service now.
mm,
I got paid to build 3 custom agents.
gotcha. So you're making a business out of building them.
Exactly. So it
Nice.
can be a business. So
That's so cool.
basically, yeah, it's cool. And that's what's coming, like custom agents that you want to do templates or whatnot. It's
And
like what's
I
coming.
think I think people don't realize how powerful some of this is, like how much they can use it.
It can
And it's
change your life.
oh,
It can change
totally.
your life.
I can see it just from I'm like now I'm like after this call I'm like I need to build all my custom agents for myself because
Oh,
I
girl,
already
the
have them. I already have them.
amount.
I've been using them daily for the last year in ChatGPT. I'm like I
Mhm.
need to make these into Notion now because I want my goal. I think my goal by the end of the next 6 months is to completely move away from ChatGPT and into Notion AI. Like
Same, same.
I wanna maybe I'll stop paying for ChatGPT so it'll force me to move over to Notion because then it will have limits and stuff and I'll be like, oh, gotta go to Notion AI, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I feel like something that I love about ChatGPT that I want to have in Notion is
Yeah.
like the sporadic chat site, I think it's called.
Uh,
Like it's like chat that like let
it
me
doesn't
open.
have anything to do with anything. It's just kind of random.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like it's a temporary chat, sorry. So
Oh, temporary
basically,
chat.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
I
doesn't like
love it.
remember it and stuff.
Exactly. It's just like quite quick
It's
question
almost
that
like a Google search, kind of.
yeah, so I love it because I have it on my phone and then I ask something, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. answers me. So
That's
like,
true. I do think Notion AI should come up with that too, because I think
yeah,
that
yeah,
would,
yeah, it's good. Like, hey, I just want to ask a quick question. I don't want out of recording or whatever. I
yeah,
just want
yeah.
to.
That's true. And I think that's where the difference between the two is, like, you could still use chat for that. And so I think for me, what I'm trying to do is for the longer, more detailed stuff still, because like what I do now is I use ChatGPT to write my newsletters, but I'm like, maybe I could start using Notion because I think it
Oh,
would then
girl,
be
you
in
can do.
Notion.
Yeah. Also, like, just to give you a heads up, even if the like global trends are doing a topic, but then you're like, oh, I will follow this out. Maybe in
Mhm.
your stats, Notion can tell you, hey, this is the trend, but your
Mm.
most popular video is this one.
So still kind of being like, you should do it this way and not, yeah,
We'll
because
do
it's
a
giving me
mix.
context. Because that's
Yeah.
so true. I need to like update all of my, yeah, I just need to, oh gosh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's a thing, girl. It takes time. Like,
I know. I was gonna say, I was like, I have to like, I think what happened is like, I think now that Notion AI exists, I need to clean up a lot of my old data because I have a ton of databases that I haven't updated in years. And I'm like, but I could use them for context. And I just need to have Notion AI just kind of clean them up and be like, get rid of all the unnecessary stuff and like really like focus and delete stuff. I just need to like
do
do an
a
audit
wiki
of my
for that,
account.
maybe.
What would
Yeah.
you say?
Like a wiki type of situation.
Kind of. Well, it's more of just like I have so many like random stuff that like I set up 5 years ago, haven't looked at. It's probably buried in my Notion somewhere. And I'm like, I need to either bring this out and have it be a part of my context or just get rid of it. Cause I don't like it's almost like I need to like literally weed through all the content that I have and then add more to it that I feel like is relevant. Like I'm writing a book. Like one of my goals is I want to write a book. And so I've
Okay.
been using chat, I've been using like a couple different apps and stuff. And it's like, I want to have the context of like, okay, this is what I've decided the chapters are and all that stuff. And I can put that into Notion or something. So I don't know. It's like figuring that stuff out, which
Yeah,
eventually
yeah. It's part of being a person that records everything. That's it's
that
part.
is me. That is me.
You
I
could do an
record
agent
everything.
to do cleanup.
Oh, that's such a good idea. I
I
should just,
mean,
or like
like,
be like, find pages I haven't looked at in 5 years. Like
exactly. I
find
give
all
you
the
a
ones.
report. Hey, this is what is happening, and you are like, oh, if you give a specific board,
Yes.
have the PDF stored somewhere and delete
Mm,
databases. So you have the context, but you don't have as many databases.
gotcha.
So
Love
like
that.
you could, like you could do a cleaner, like you could,
Yeah, I need that.
whatever.
And I love that it can do that for me. So that's
I
awesome.
mean, you could do like agents for every single purpose of your
That's
work.
such a good idea. Okay, I'll have to do
Mhm.
that after
I
this.
mean, girl, the things that are repetitive, I'm like, oh, this could be an agent. Like I have a
I
list
have to
of
start thinking
agents.
about that because I think for me, I was only creating custom GP for ones that were like I was using all the time and that were kind of specific. But now I'm like, maybe I could do more than that. Like I feel like
Yeah,
I was like, I didn't want to have too many, but then now I'm like, well, I guess I could have like as many as I can think of, you know?
yeah. I mean, and I recommend that they are specific.
Mm.
Like as a specific, like the task should be specific.
So so
Yeah.
even within marketing, you could have like just newsletter, just
Yeah, I
LinkedIn,
don't
just
recommend that you
yeah.
do all of them. Something that sorry for taking more
Yeah,
time,
no worries.
but this is something that I've been working on that you might be like, this is something that I've been working on and is insane that I discovered is that you could basically group agents.
Oh, so you have like different like categories.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you mean like, oh, that's organization wise, that's nice. And I'm like, yeah, but it takes to another level. So for
Can you,
example, this
yeah, okay, can you
folder
show me? Oh,
is
so
like,
you, oh, so you, okay, so you have, oh, okay, I love that. Okay.
so like you content creation is all these agents,
Mm.
a group. And you're like, oh, that's nice. But now let me show you something. Basically, now if you take that folder, all those agents work at the same time as well.
Oh, because they're filtered into that? Or,
Yeah.
okay.
So basically, I asked, for example, in this content creation folder, which is how who creates carousels, Casper that newsletters, like this is a mean like video,
Oh,
and then personal branding because Nemo is for my personal brand. I asked him, hey, I did a San Francisco trip, for example.
mm-hmm.
I need to like I selected even the whole folder that you could do. Like basically you go here and
Oh,
then you are like the instructions and then you are content creation folder
oh,
and then you
wow.
select
Okay,
it
that's
and then
cool.
And then you are like, okay, I need to do newsletters, carousels, videos, whatever.
So it does all of the above. Oh, that's a good idea.
And then what I want to do is to give instructions of workflows inside of this folder. Like it has all these personalities, but you are like, okay, you will start with with the newsletter and the YouTube videos, for example. And from those big contents, you will do TikToks, carousels, and everything else like this workflow. And
Gotcha.
then you go ask him, hey, after I give you this specific word, like approved, you need to add this into your content database page with tasks for my team. And you have specifications who is attached to it.
Yeah.
So like
That's
you
amazing.
can create whole workflows of
Wow,
it.
that's gonna be I'm now really excited. Like
Like
that's giving me
is
ideas.
I am obsessed. Like you can do, for example, Notion systems, and this
Okay.
like gives you all the context of a Notion system, for example.
I love it.
So then you have groups of agents, like a team working for you. So
That's
you
so
can be as
cool.
specific as you want, and then you get,
I
okay,
I want to do that with my health stuff because then it's like it has context
girl,
for
it's
each thing that I do.
crazy.
Oh my
And
God.
it's more like helpful because, for
Yeah,
example, health is not only one thing, it's a group of things.
it is.
You know, like if
Yeah.
I saw, because I'm like, I love Jenna's content, guys, like I love it. So like I saw that you will eat dairy again, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully start eating dairy.
I mean, hopefully, girl, like
I know.
cheese, girl.
I'm gonna slowly start. I mean, because it's Thanksgiving next week in America. Like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
we have butter. We got lots of like dairy.
Yeah, that
I'm
will
like,
be a bomb.
I want to have my mashed potatoes, so it's like I
Yeah,
want to be able to eat it. But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like I want it, but I'm actually today going to my naturopath, so I'm gonna talk to her about that before. But like I don't think my skin issues come from dairy, so it's like I'm just gonna try it again. But yeah, and then I want to maybe document, or like maybe I start tracking my symptoms or something, and like every day I have a daily like it was better today. Wonder why? Like this is what I ate yesterday. That
Also,
kind
like if you have a page, this is
of
getting
Mhm.
out there, but if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have a
yeah.
page with your doctor, in this case, the person that
Yes,
you visit,
yeah.
and then you're like, hey, I have this agent that does reporting or the stuff
Mm,
to you, and it will notify you when it's done.
yeah, that would be really cool in the future.
Like you don't even need
Yeah,
to, you know,
for sure. That would be cool.
like
I
then it
think
comes customer.
well,
You
I
yeah.
think eventually and then like I would love to like have my Apple Watch sync so then I could automatically go to, my steps or whatever so I don't have to automate that. I know there's ways that you can do that, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like right now it's not very like easy. So
It's
it's like
something that you can do, but it's like tricky. But
yeah.
it's something that you can absolutely do.
And I
Um,
think in the future there'll be so many more ways to document like for example, I want to like document how many calories I eat in a day by just like taking a photo of my food or something. There's all these things that you can do or like I did workout for 30 minutes. Here's like all the different like weights I did and like just that kind of stuff would be awesome, but it's just like hard to do right now. It's like figuring out like a way
yeah,
to
but then
automate
you are
that.
like to do some things with your phone, like
Mm-hmm.
shortcuts that you can save over a
Yes,
bit of time.
exactly.
Then you can have, like, for example, if you have a trainer, they can have their own page and they
Mhm.
context on it, like
Yeah,
so on
that
and
would
so
be
forth.
that would be.
Like
I
if
mean, there's just so many. I feel like we need to do a follow up video of just like ideas. 'Cause I'm just
like
like
your brain is raining. Yeah,
it
girl.
is,
I
which I
think
love. I love it when I get so excited about ideas and then I spend the next 2 weeks doing it because it's like I
girl,
just
like
want
I have presented this to a couple of other like two ambassadors, and
yeah.
they're like, "How did you came up with this?" And I'm like, "Girl, I spent so much time here. Like that
Yeah.
page I visited so many
People
times."
feel that way about some of my boards. They're like, "How did you do this?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just needed a place to store all this stuff I was already storing and I just need."
Like the fact that you have a database with all the clothes that you have.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like,
And that
I
was just
get
because
it.
I've always wanted that. Even when I was in like middle school, I'm like, I wish I could. I used to take. Okay, this is a crazy fact. I took photos of my clothes in middle school. That's how long I've been wanting something like this. And it wasn't until
Okay.
Notion that now there were apps and stuff, but I was just like, nothing ever worked until
Mhm.
Notion. So I literally still have the photos from 7th grade of me taking
Girl.
photos of my clothes. So like when I tell you, like I was waiting for Notion my whole life.
Yeah, you're like,
And the moment I realized, I remember the day exactly. I remember the moment I realized what Notion could do. I was like a like my brain was on fire. I was like, "Oh my
yeah,
God." I had so many ideas. I was like, "This is what I've been waiting for 25 years, whatever." And like,
yeah,
and it's just like and a lot of people maybe don't need that, but I did.
yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I feel like to me to have this team of people. of agents that help me to think and to organize myself. Like I could, like, as I said, this is isolated. I
Mm-hmm.
tested this out. So imagine when I connect it to everything else that I have in my workspace.
Mm-hmm.
Like it gets crazy and crazy. Like Notion, I feel for neurodivergent people, Notion is
Mm-hmm.
something that you should get into. Like
That's
you,
what I think. That's why my whole Facebook group is called neurodivergent entrepreneurs Notion, because it's like I think people need
yeah,
it. And I just feel like there's no AI to me is I think it benefits neurodivergent people more than anyone
yeah,
because it's stuff that like we just struggle with the basics of like the executive functioning.
yeah. And
But
I'm like
yeah,
talking about agents that are for work, for example, doing content
exactly.
creation. But
Yeah.
if you are like Jenna that has
Mhm.
lots of info about health, you might need an agent to do reporting on that.
That's exactly what
Um,
I'm what I
like
want to
an
do.
agent for that in terms of like, for example, an agent that tells you how which tasks you need to do in
Mhm.
a day that are
Mhm.
feasible, possible, that you put your limits to yourself in a
Yes.
context like, hey, I can spend this amount of time in this and this task takes me that.
Mhm.
And then, for example, something that I am developing right now is to have time tracking on Notion. So if I know how much a task normally or usually takes me, the agent can tell you, hey, you can do this today and this.
Oh, so it's like helping you know the time limits of,
Mhm.
oh, that's a good idea.
You
How
can
does
do
it track? How does it track? How do you track that?
so many formulas.
Ah, okay.
So many
I was like, is there an app that you can like plug into Notion that just like tracks your time? Okay.
formulas in Notion, and it's
Interesting.
insane. But I tell you the formula, like I will send it up.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
But
I
basically,
honestly, I don't really use formulas much. So like, that's kind of foreign to me.
girl, I don't use formulas as much, but I use for Notion formulas.
Notion AI to
Yeah,
make,
that's
okay.
perfect. But with
Yeah.
the time tracking is a little bit tricky. I had to ask for help for another
Yeah.
person. So like I'm like, what do I do now? So
That
for
would be a
example,
great tool to have as some sort of time tracker within Notion
exactly.
to
So
like
basically, it's two
track what
buttons,
you're
like
doing.
start and stop.
Ah.
Basically, you are like, okay, if for example, doing an Instagram post takes me an hour
Mhm.
for putting an example out there, Notion be like, okay, it takes you an hour. So feasible, you have 4 hours a day to do content because you told me to. So you can do 4 posts and the deadlines of your task are these dates. So I can
Ah.
mix up things and tell you what to do in a day, realistically.
Nice. And then do you use like Notion Calendar to track your like time and stuff?
Exactly.
Okay, interesting.
And then
Huh.
you have a team. So then you could tell the agent, like, hey, this person does this person does that, and takes time for them, this, and that. And they're like, oh, I can, when you send this, I can change the
Mhm.
status and then notify this person. Create whole workflows based on your ADHD or
Wow.
neurodiversity.
Okay, well
And
we
then
need to I think we should make like a series of videos. This would be so helpful for people. I'm serious because
no
I'm like
problem.
this to me is like game changing for people. And like I try to teach Notion, but I'm like this is just my perspective and like it might not work with people. And also like I think that we can like share ideas with
No
each other.
problem.
Like I think we both have very similar needs and figurations
Yeah,
and stuff, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I we connect. I feel we connect.
Yes.
Like we
Awesome.
connect.
All right.
So
Well, I
like,
know we're kind of coming up on time. I know I don't
yeah,
want
yeah,
this episode to be like 2 hours long, but how do we find you? Do you do anything in English or is it all in Spanish? Is every content
right
coming?
now, like I do templates in English and
Okay.
Spanish, and I'm actually like organizing myself to do VS in English and Spanish and do content
Nice.
in both languages because
Perfect.
I know. So bear with me.
Okay.
I will send you all the details like LinkedIn,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Instagram, and YouTube
I'll put it in the Substack
in the
for sure.
Substack.
Yeah.
So like I'm the like a little bit of patience. I'm organizing everything this year. So my
No worries.
ADHD brain does like I'm organizing everything. I have systems in place like the time tracking thing. So I
Yes, that's
yeah.
awesome. I'm definitely maybe we'll do an episode on that because I feel like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, no
super
problem. We
cool.
will share the formula and everything and the
Awesome.
explaining part.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I hope people,
Anytime.
I really think really people will like this episode because I do think it's
No,
really cool about it. So awesome. All
nice to
right.
meet you guys.
See you
Bye.
next week.